JC Production.
Today we're going to be talking about the newly proposed $3 trillion stimulus package known as the HEROES Act, otherwise referred to as the Health and Economic Recovery Omnibus Emergency Solutions Act. Whew, that's a mouthful. I'm going to do my best to keep this video short and sweet, but I will say it is quite a long proposal. 1,815 pages to be exact. But let's be real, it's like double space with 2-inch margins, so in reality it's probably like 700 pages max. So basically this proposal is just a measly warm-up for George R.R. Martin. I want this video to serve as a quick guide to the HEROES Act and really touch upon all the most important points that directly affect the American people. Now let me say this, not all points of this proposal will be discussed in this video. Like I said, this thing's over 1,800 pages long, it's just impossible to go through all this, and I really wanted to try to keep this as quick and efficient as possible. Before I get into the video, obviously I want to remind you guys to like this video, comment and engage down below, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so every time I upload a video, you guys get notified. Alright, you guys know the deal, let's budget. Okay, let's just jump into what everybody clicked on this video for and what everybody wants to know: stimulus checks. Let's talk stimulus. That's real money in your pocket, real money in my pocket, so let's talk about that sweet, sweet stimulus money. In a nutshell, the HEROES Act uses the same guidelines for stimulus checks as the CARES Act with a few minor adjustments. Just like the CARES Act, if your adjusted gross income is $75,000 or less, then you qualify for the full $1,200 stimulus payment. For every $1,000 you make over $75,000, your payment reduces by $50. So if you made $80,000, then you're going to be receiving $950 as a stimulus check. If you made $99,000, well, you're not getting anything. If you're married, file jointly, just double the numbers. Easy as that. The main difference between the HEROES Act and the CARES Act is the amount that you can actually receive for qualifying dependents. Under the previous CARES Act, you were only going to get $500 per dependent or per child, and now in this act, you're going to be receiving up to $1,200 per dependent, which means if you're a married family of 5, so it's 2 of you plus 3 kids, you might be able to get $6,000 from the federal government of tax-free money. The HEROES Act defines dependents as more than just children, but also adult dependents and college students as well. One of the biggest points of the HEROES Act is that this actually applies retroactively to the CARES Act, which means if you did not get the $500 per dependent because they didn't qualify as dependents under the CARES Act, you will actually be able to receive that $500 per dependent for college students and other adult dependents. Okay, next up, let's talk about rent and mortgages. In regards to rent and mortgages, the HEROES Act has proposed 12 months of an eviction freeze, which means if you don't pay your rent for 12 months, then your tenant cannot legally evict you. What this means is that if you're running a really tight budget right now and this stimulus check has to stretch as far as possible, you can now spend this money on other needs such as food, water, and medicine. This does not mean you can skip paying your rent. If you can pay your rent, then you should pay your rent. If you choose to defer your rent payments and not pay your landlord for 12 months because you can't get evicted, you will be responsible for all of that money in one lump sum at the end of the period. So keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to mortgages, if you can't make your payment or you're gonna have to make less than the minimum monthly payment required on your bill, then you will have the option to go into a forbearance period for up to 360 days. This forbearance period is very important because it would take away all of the late fees and penalties that you as a homeowner would suffer by not paying your mortgage. Just like I said with rent a minute ago, you're not living for free. You should not plan on living for free under a forbearance period. If you can pay your mortgage, then pay your mortgage. It's that simple. Keep in mind that if you stop making payments on your mortgage and you enter a forbearance period, you will be responsible for all of that money eventually. The HEROES Act did propose that if you cannot pay your mortgage during this forbearance period, that all of that money you're going to be required to pay at the end of the loan rather than in one lump sum at the end of the forbearance period. Whew, that takes a lot of pressure off homeowners who can't make their payments. Now, in reading through the HEROES Act, there was a little line about escrow accounts, which I found very interesting. If you're a homeowner and you choose to enter into this forbearance period and your escrow account does not have enough in it to pay your homeowner's insurance and your property taxes, then your lender will pay it for you. Additionally, there's a phrase in this document that states loss mitigation can prevent the lender from requiring you to have to pay back this money for your property taxes and your home insurance that they actually covered for you during this time. You know what that means? Free money. Now, I actually doubt that this is actually gonna pass, but it looks good on paper, so for now, we'll just admire that it's there and we'll hope that it stays, but I don't actually think it's gonna end up staying in there. We'll see. And finally, one of the biggest things that the HEROES Act addresses above and beyond what the CARES Act did is mortgage lenders will no longer be allowed to report you to credit bureaus if you go into forbearance. that will save your credit score. So that's a very, very good thing for everybody. If you enter into a forbearance period, your credit score will be fine. It's not gonna drop 30, 40, 50 points overnight. It's gonna be fine. Next up, I want to address some points that the HEROES Act makes in regards to frontline essential workers. For frontline essential workers, I just really want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's really admirable what you guys are doing out there. You guys are sacrificing everything and just doing your jobs. I know it's what you signed up for, but no one's asking you to do it. You guys are truly the real heroes, and you guys deserve all the credit in the world. And anything that we can do as the public to help, we're here for you guys. What's great about the HEROES Act is it actually proposes a $13 per hour bonus to all frontline essential workers, and this dates back to January 27th of 2020. The HEROES Act allocates $200 billion to be able to pay this $13 per hour bonus to frontline essential employees, and the maximum a frontline essential employee could receive is $10,000 unless you're making $200,000 or more. Sorry, Doc. You can only get $5,000 from this proposal. Finally, we have a big one that really hits home for so many Americans like myself, and that is student loan forgiveness, which is music to my ears. The HEROES Act states that if you have a private student loan, that minimum monthly payment will be covered for you by the US Treasury until September of 2021 with a maximum cap of $10,000. That's right, if you have student loans, that's basically $10,000 in free money from the US Treasury. Thank you so much. That is fantastic. Guys, I am so stimulated right now. The HEROES Act goes on to discuss a huge laundry list of so many other items, and it gets really in-depth on a lot of different features of our economic situation. Again, it's 1,800 pages, so who knows what's exactly in that entire document. Obviously, I didn't read the whole thing, but if you guys want to read through it, the link will be down in the description below. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video, comment and engage down below, subscribe, and press that notification bell so every time I upload a video, you guys get notified.